Our first video in this series on the Mandalorians covered their early beginnings as Tong on Coruscant, known then as Notron, leading up to their conquest of Mandalore. While they had shown some openness to other species joining their ranks in some capacity, and had organized themselves officially under Mandalore I, today we're going to talk about how their subjugation by the Sith made them become the dedicated, industrial warrior society that made a conflict on the scale of the Mandalorian Wars possible. For centuries, between 7000 BBY, or years before the Battle of Yavin with the capture of Mandalore, to about 4000 BBY, the Mandalorians crusaded their way throughout the galaxy, making war as a way to gain honor. By 4002 BBY, they had penetrated the deep core and established bases on the planet named Kuar, not to be confused with Kuat, under the leadership of Mandalore the Indomitable, a word meaning impossible to subdue or defeat, so let's see how that goes for him. The Kuar bases were intended as a jumping-off point to attack the Empress Teta system, a system of 7 major worlds in the deep core ruled by a monarchy, the heirs to which had fallen to the dark side and led a cult known as the Krath. They were supported by another fallen Jedi-turned-Sith Lord, Qel-Droma. The system was rich in resources, especially carbonite, and the Mandalorians saw the Krath as a prime target for their next crusade to prove their own honor. During their assault on the system in 3996 BBY, Mandalore the Indomitable, knowing Ulic's reputation as a warrior, challenged the fallen Jedi to a duel, and on the plains of Harkul on Kuar they engaged in what may have been the most rigged duel in history. Mandalore allowed himself use of a basilisk war droid, but Ulic wasn't even allowed to stand properly. Ulic still managed to win the duel, and rather than kill Mandalore, Ulic left him in charge of his clans, but forced the clans into servitude to the Sith, in what would become known as the Great Sith War. Not so indomitable now, is he? In their first united action, Alima, one of the leaders of the Krath, disguised the combined fleets using a massive force projection as a large, damaged Republic freighter heading into the shipyards of nearby Forost. Once there, they quickly overwhelmed the defenses and captured a new fleet worth of ships from the docks. The Mandalorians would continue to aid the Sith throughout the war. Qel-Droma ordered his Mandalorian forces to finally attack Onderon in the later stages of the war, and during this battle, the Mandalore was killed while trying to retreat. His ceremonial mask was found by another Mandalorian, who took up his position as Mandalore, becoming known as Mandalore the Ultimate. The Mandalorians, now free of their obligations to the Sith, began unifying and expanding further in the aftermath of the war under his leadership. They began establishing more permanent bases and moved beyond simply being roving conquerors. This also marked the point where Mandalorians ceased to be mostly Tong. Many of their conquered vassals were now entirely free to join their warrior society, and they began developing industry on Mandalore and other worlds to craft massive amounts of their own weapons of war, rather than relying mostly on captured weapons as heavily. With these new shifts in their society, the Mandalorians quickly swelled their ranks by the billions, and soon they were ready to begin their own massive assault on the Republic. The resulting war would have a profound impact on the galaxy in general, and the path of the Mandalorians in particular for millennia, and that will be the subject of the third video in this series. As always, if you've enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like or subscribing. If you have a topic you'd like to hear me cover, please leave that in the comments as well. I mentioned it in the last video, but I'm thinking about doing a semi-regular Q&A series on the channel. If you have any questions for that, please leave them in the comments using the hashtag QuestionTime. Thanks for watching.